everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about House of Flame and Shadow. So, I just literally finished it today. And was it a whirlwind? I mean, this connected everything. Everything. Now, I am going to do spoilers because there's really no way for me to do a review on a book that I absolutely love so much and not give spoilers. So, before I go into anything, if you haven't read it yet or you're not finished with it, come back and watch the video later. Because trust me, you're gonna want to finish the book. But here we go. I mean, I have so many words and yet none, all at the same time. Like, this started right where the last one ended, basically. And also, I think this took place in like a week, maybe 2. It didn't even have a long span. It was instant. But yeah, so it ties up a lot of like loose ends. It also gives like a redemption arc to, I think, multiple characters. Theron for sure. Ethan is one of them, and Hunt kind of has one. Basically, it's him feeling guilty for himself. So if you want to call it a redemption arc, but it's not fully that. Theron's the biggest one. But like, what I really enjoyed was how J Maas connected not only Midgard with Parinthia, which is where ACOTAR is. ACOTAR takes place. But there's also little snippets in here that talk about Throne of Glass. Like, for one, this was close to the end, and the Underking basically says that you call, I'm paraphrasing, but he tells Bryce, you call Erd here like your god. But in the old world, they had a different name. They called her Word. Well, that takes place in Throne of Glass. The word marks. Word. And I haven't looked it up yet, but Lydia named one of her sons Brannon. And she said it was after the old bloodline from the old world. I'm pretty sure that name comes from Throne of Glass. Don't quote me on it. I haven't looked it up yet. But I'm pretty sure it does. And there's other mentions in it as well for the old world. So like the shifters, so the wolves, Lydia who shifts into a deer, the shifters who turn into lions or anything like that. Their ancestors, I believe, come from the old world. And the Astari, and they say in the end of the book, the Astari did experiments on these shifters because they used to be Fae. They used to have pointed ears. But they experimented on them, so they got rid of the pointed ears and made it seem like, oh, well, you're just from a line of lion shifters, or you're just from a line of wolf shifters. Not that they were all once Fae from a different world, who could shift into different animals, like in Throne of Glass. Multiple connections to the Akatar world. And you have multiple times in here, not only in the beginning of the book, but a few other times later in this book, where Bryce talks to Nesta. And so then it gives me a feeling like maybe Sarah J Maas will open up the portal again in the next Akatar book. Maybe? I don't know. I'm speculating. But the writing in this was great. Did I like the length? Yes. Granted, when I read the second one, I read it a little slower, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it was because the middle part didn't grip me as much, but this gripped me the whole time. And I'm really thinking it's because of all of the different information that Maas put in it. The connections between everything. Not only the different worlds, but within Midgard itself. The heritage of certain people, and learning Jessica's story. Like, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. If you give me background and connections, that is what I like. And she just describes things so well. So well. But reading this just made me like realize that I need to go back and reread everything of hers again, so that way I can really think about the connections between everything. So like, I don't know if I'm going to start a notebook. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't like to tab. I don't like to write in my books, like annotate in them. I'm a little particular on that. I don't know why. So maybe a notebook is where I go with this. But like, after I finished it, I was a little depressed, to be quite fair. I love being in her worlds. So, am I sad it's over? Yes. Am I excited for what's to come next? Yes. When that's gonna be, I don't know. But I hope to gosh it's this year. Like, I really do, because I need another Sarah J Maas book in my life. Not that I don't have all of her books on my shelf, but yeah. So, if you have read her other two Crescent City books, and obviously, if you've read this one, you've probably watched the whole video. If you haven't read this one yet, and you just wanted to know my spoiler thoughts on it before you read it, kudos to you. Go read it, because this is a phenomenal ending to the Crescent City trilogy. Yeah. If you have read it, let me know below what your thoughts are, what you liked, what you didn't like about the book. To be quite fair, I don't have a criticism of it. Maybe I can criticize that it's too long, but I can't, because I think it was perfect with everything she needed to say to wrap it up. I really think it was perfect. So, but yeah, comment below, let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll ride. rise up from the dust. Oh,